Hello, everyone. This is your girl Rita, also known as the self proclaimed gold digger. Welcome to my channel where I discuss my life as a wife, mom, entrepreneur, business owner, and most importantly, I discuss my personal finances because I am on a debt free journey. I shared in a previous video about my student loan debt. I'm in over $275,000 worth of student loans, and I am striving to get out of debt and striving to get those paid off. But today, I'm coming to you with something new that I'm going to be starting on a monthly basis, and it's just going to be some personal finance tips that I'm going to be sharing with you. And these are just monthly money moves that you should be making or should be trying to make. So, what I'm planning on doing is each month I'm going to share with you three money tips or financial tips that you can incorporate, within a week, within a month, within a day, like within a relatively short period of time. And what I would like for you to possibly consider is seeing if you can do one of them each month. If you can do all three, that's great, or whatever. But I mean, I don't want to overwhelm you. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be sharing with you. And I know sometimes when you're talking about personal finances, you get so many tips, you get inundated with so much stuff. You need to do this, you need to do that, look into this, have you done that, and that kind of thing. And it can be overwhelming. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I know initially when I was trying to get my finances in order and get everything organized, it seems like it is a lot, and it is a lot. It is a lot of stuff to try and tackle, but basically you just have to take it one step at a time, one day at a time. And that's why I was like, let me just share three money tips each month with you guys, and hopefully you'll choose one. Hopefully you'll find one that you can start utilizing in the very near future. All right. Now, before we get into it, I am asking you, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I have new videos and new content out there. And if you enjoy this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and share it with a friend. I just want to thank everyone who has been watching the videos, who has also subscribed to the channel. I am seeing that I am getting more subscribers, so thank you so much for that. And let me know if there's any other helpful content that you are interested in seeing from me, because I want to make sure I'm giving you good content, good value, and hopefully that it is informative. I am learning through this process myself, so this is just my journey, and I'm sharing with you some of the mistakes I made, some of the things that I have been able to incorporate, and hopefully you will find it beneficial as I found it beneficial. And the things that I have made mistakes on, hopefully you will avoid them so that you don't go down the same path as myself. All right, but let's get into our three money moves for the month of March. All right. The first money move that you should be making is determine how much you are spending on a monthly basis. Now, notice I did not say a budget. I'm not going to say a budget. First things I just want you to do is just determine what you are spending on a monthly basis. So you can either do that by, if you pretty much use a card or debit card or whatever for most of your spending, you can look back on your bank account for the previous month, or you can start writing down what you're spending on a weekly basis going forward, however you want to do it. But it is very helpful to see what you are spending on a monthly basis. One, so you'll know what can you survive off of, like what are some of your expenses and things like that. Like what are you spending out on a monthly basis? Also, too, it can help you see what you can possibly cut back on. Like maybe you think you're only spending $300 or something on eating out, and come to find out you're spending $500 a month on eating out or something like that. So the first thing I would suggest, or one of the tips, the first tip I have for you is just determine what you are spending on a monthly basis. And it's helpful, like I said, just to break it down by week. Like, don't wait till the end of the month and be like, oh gosh, what was I spending, unless you know like pretty much all your expenses are done with a debit card, and you can just go back and look at your bank statement and see all of the little expenses that you have accumulated. All right, so that was money move number one. Determine your monthly expenses or what you're spending on in a month. Money move number two is to create an emergency fund. Now, most money gurus or people who talk about personal finances, they are always going to encourage you to create an emergency fund, and I'm also going to encourage you to do the same. It can definitely come in handy. It can be a lifesaver. I do have an emergency fund. Um, I call it a mini emergency fund because it's really, yeah, I know, yeah, it's really, I wouldn't, if I had an emergency or whatever, it wouldn't cover it. Emergency for me is like something, I don't know, something major kind of happens. So I have a mini one. My goal is to have 3 months of an emergency fund saved up. Right about now, I'm working on having 1 month saved up in my emergency fund. Just because one, I know everybody's situation is unique, but I have been self-employed, and I'm still consider myself self-employed. I'm like W-2, but it's through my particular business. So if something happens to my business, I'm still, like in trouble or whatever. So I still consider myself self-employed, and things can happen at a moment's notice with the business. And like with us, we had to end up closing down during the pandemic. I don't anticipate us having to do that again, but I don't know. This pandemic has been crazy. 2020 was crazy, that kind of thing. So with me having the mindset of being self-employed, I have always been of the mindset to expect the unexpected. So I like to be, or try to be, over prepared. So that's why I'm trying to beef up my emergency fund for 3 months. And that is also why I suggest you to figure out what you are spending on a monthly basis, because I would highly encourage you to make your emergency fund based off of what your monthly expenses are. Now, and that's like, cutting out any frivolous spending or whatever too. But what are you spending on a monthly basis? I would suggest that should be your emergency fund. At least 1 month of that saved up in emergency fund. I know there are also financial people who say, start with $1,000. And like I said, I think that is, for me, that is too small. Like if I $1,000 and we really had a true emergency, I'm gonna be out of luck or whatever. And that is why I'm trying to get a month worth of expenses saved up. Actually, I think at the close of last month, at the close of February, I should have a month's worth of expenses saved up at this point. But I'm working to get 3 months worth of expenses saved up into my emergency fund. Now, I will say, how you structure your emergency fund, that is up to you, and you have to know yourself and know like what your expenses are. But like I said, I feel more comfortable knowing that I at least have 1 month of expenses saved up in my emergency fund. But for you, you might be fine with only having, I don't know, $500, or you might be fine with having $1,000. You might feel comfortable. So whatever you feel is comfortable for you, then go ahead and do that. But probably if you see some of what you're spending out on a monthly basis, you might say, hey, I'm spending way more than $500 or way more than $1,000 a month, and I'm gonna need more than that. But create an emergency fund in the event of an emergency. Thankfully, I have not had to use my emergency fund, knock on wood. But because of how I do structure some other stuff, I use the cash envelope system. Just did a video about that, so check that out as well. I will link to it above. But yeah, so thankfully I have not had to use it just because of other stuff I have put in place. But like I said, anything can happen, and I'm of the mindset of expect the unexpected, and I want to be prepared for the unexpected. All right, and that was money move number two. Our last money move for the month of March is to develop a good money mindset. Now you might be like, well, what the heck is a money mindset? A money mindset is just, how do you feel about money? Like, what emotions come to you in regards to money? What is your thought process about money? Do you feel like you have an abundance of money? Do you have a scarcity mindset when it comes to money? Do you feel like, hey, I will never be able to make X amount of money, or I will never be able to be wealthy, or that kind of thing? What is your money mindset, because you do have to have the right mindset when it comes to money, and you have to believe that you are capable of achieving your money goals. You are capable of becoming wealthy. You're capable of, getting a six-figure salary. You're capable of being a millionaire, capable of being a billionaire. You have to like believe that, and in order to make good financial and good money choices. And it all starts in your mind. And you often hear stories about people who have like won the lottery and now they don't have any money or whatever, and it probably is like around their money mindset, as well as how they probably manage their money as well. But having a positive money mindset can go a long way. If you have the mindset, oh, I'm always going to be in debt, guess what? You're always going to be in debt. So the Bible says, life and death is in the power of your tongue, and what you speak out really does have can develop or have an impact on what you are creating for yourself. So make sure you are speaking positive things about your financial situation, about money. Make sure you have a positive thought process about it. And I'm not saying, if you're in like a lot of debt, because I'm like me, I'm in a lot of debt or whatever, and it's like not to be blind to reality or whatever, but I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to even be here very long, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to be here very long at all, because I am going to be resourceful, and I'm going to do stuff where I'm going to have an abundance of money, and it is going to be overflowing, and I'm going to be able to do the things that I want to do. And debt will not be hanging over my head. Debt will not even be a part of my future story. So having that positive money mindset will help you achieve more money goals. All right. So real quick, just to recap, these are just the three. You pick one that you think that you can incorporate this month, in the month of March, for your money move that you are going to make. So number one was determine how much money you are spending on a monthly basis. Number two is to create an emergency fund. And number three is develop a good and positive money mindset. All right. So that is all I have for now. Let me know if you think you're going to like this monthly money move segment or whatever, because next month I will be coming to you with 3 more money tips for you to try to incorporate into your everyday life. All right. This is your girl Rita, also known as the Gold Digger. Take care, everyone.